So somehow Anisa and iDubbbz are still talking about Ethan Klein and just handing not just Ethan Klein easy W's, but Keto Casino, Nicholas DiOrio, and any slop tuber like Sensitive Society or Diesel Patches, just literally anyone that covers these people, they just print endless amounts of money, while Anisa and iDubbbz just eat shit in the process. And just now, Anisa in her infinite wisdom has decided to attack Harley Morenstein, like the guy that did Epic Mealtime. She's decided to attack him and talk about how he used to do blackface and how Ethan Klein was afraid of hanging out with Harley Morenstein, who's now a co-host on his podcast. Well, apparently in the past, Ethan Klein was afraid to hang out with this guy because of Harley Morenstein's association with Sam Hyde.
Harley wanted to come, Epic Bacon Blackface or whatever Ian calls him, Harley. He wanted to come to the party and Ethan was like scared of him because of his association with Sam Hyde. So we had to like convince Ethan to let Harley in to the party. That's the last time. The vibes were bad. I don't know.
Oh my god, I love how fucking dramatic she gets, dude. It's crazy, bro. Ethan, of course, instantly refutes this by posting text messages of him and Harley talking. Here's Harley in the blues saying, "Hi, Ethan, it's Harley. I'm in LA solo. Any chance I can get that Teddy Fresh thing tomorrow? I'd love to be there." Ethan says, "I got you. I'll have them add you." Harley says, "That's awesome, dude. Hope you've been well." Ethan says, "Yeah, just showed up." Harley says, looking forward to seeing you guys. Thanks, brother." Ethan says, "Yeah, me too. Looking forward to catching up." So obviously you can tell from these text messages, there is no fear whatsoever from Ethan Klein when it comes to hanging out with Harley. So the fact that Anisa would go on stream and just say this like very easily refutable lie, it makes no fucking sense. Like, what is she thinking? Is she just trying to help Ethan at this point? But Ethan actually continues and releases even more text messages saying, "Here is Ian telling Harley he didn't want to ask if Harley could come. In other words, they did not even discuss it with me. What a strange projection. Truly bizarre." So Harley shows the conversation he had with Ethan and sends it to iDubbbz and says, "Lol, worst case, I'll see you guys there tomorrow night." iDubbbz then says, "Haha, okay, I'm glad you made it happen. I didn't want to ask," revealing that he's actually the one that was afraid to ask Ethan to invite Harley over to the party, not Ethan. And again, it's like, what the fuck is this fucking bitch thinking, saying shit that Ethan can just easily disprove on his podcast? It's like she's working for Ethan just to make him look better, giving him free sympathy and another example of them just lying about him so that he can go on his show and talk about it for hours and make infinite amounts of money talking about it.
Harley wanted to come, Epic Bacon Blackface or whatever Ian calls him.
And by the way, she calls him Epic Bacon Blackface. You might be wondering why she's calling him that. Well, apparently in the past, Harley Morenstein did do a blackface Halloween costume where he pretends to look like Shaq, and this is something that he's apologized and addressed way back in 2016. He apologized for this, but I guess this is like a big own on him now. Now that he's more, I would imagine, openly liberal, you know, it's a bad look, I guess, so they're bringing that up, which is kind of a cheap shot, but, you know, especially coming from people that, you know, used to sling the fucking N-word around, but it's just so stupid to me because anytime people bring up past moments of racism from like 10 plus years ago, it's so hard for me to take it seriously. I mean, it's hard for me to take it seriously whatsoever because, I mean, you know, obviously I have a fucked up sense of humor and I find all of this shit pretty funny, but yeah, obviously in this world, this is like a big no-no. But Anisa actually continues and actually turns up the temperature on her Twitter account. She says, "If Harley Morenstein, aka Epic Baconhead, says one scandalous, salacious, or otherwise unsavory thing about me on his Bacon and Egg podcast today, I will go nuclear. You have been warned, Mr. Moron. It will never not be funny to me to see how easy it is to get on Ethan's Instagram stories and show. Why any of you, especially a multimillionaire, care is so beyond me. I will take it though. Discovery on Twitch is hard." So she's just like fully revealing her hands here, revealing what the strategy is. Like, views are low, our relevance is low, so we're just gonna say anything just to have Ethan Klein do full shows on us. Like, in Anisa and iDubbbz's mind, they've now gone so low that they've reached the point where they now believe any attention is good attention. And a lot of people on the internet believe any attention is good attention, but attention is not the same. Like, internet attention is not equal. There's attention you can build off of, there's attention that you can take and create something with, and then there's just negative attention that doesn't really benefit you in the process. Like, yeah, it gets more people to talk about you, right? But But if you're trying to be taken seriously, especially in the realm of politics, and make no mistake, Anisa and iDubbbz obviously are trying to be taken seriously when they talk about things like Palestine or Zionism. You know, they do want people to hear what they have to say about these topics and take it seriously, right? So when they just post just the most blatantly obvious bullshit lies about Ethan Klein, yeah, they're getting attention for it, but it's negative attention that hurts any productive thing that they're trying to do in the future. So Anisa's saying like, yeah, discovering Twitch is hard, so I'm just gonna post the most blatant shit whatsoever, let Ethan Klein take the bait and sensationalize it for a whole podcast, and somehow I win from this. But it's like, do you really win from this? Like, what's the victory here? Here she is even responding to Kino Casino fans who are posting like the memes saying, Her Majesty has issued a royal warning and the realm stands ready. Mr. Morin would do well to choose his words very carefully. Her Majesty Queen Anisa does not issue threats lightly, and going nuclear is well within her sovereign right. The bacon-headed fool has been warned. And she says, light the beacons, felted imp, let the kingdoms know. So she's just engaging with Kino Casino fans, like going along with their joke meme that she's the queen and she is, you know, cool now. It's actually like just the most desperate level of attention seeking I think I've ever fucking seen. She continues saying, if you want to watch me speedbag Ethan's ego, causing more AI crash out thumbnails on his dying podcast, tune in this Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific. Also, your crew member Tamara looks like she smells like the bottom of an old pencil case. Same smell. If you don't like the very common smells like pennies comment that's been used to describe Grimes, for example. If you don't know, she said that Tamara apparently smells like pennies, which caused a lot of people to say that that was like an anti-Semitic attack because I guess Tamara is Jewish. I don't even know what the fucking point here of this is. Like, again, it just seems like Anisa's just revealing her whole hand where she's just going to be this negative, toxic bitch, and somehow that's going to help her in the long run. It's not. It's just going to create more trolls, more attention that's destructive rather than productive. Like, it's just so stupid to me, like what their strategy here is. Anisa then goes on a whole rant about Harley Morenstein on her stream. Let's take a listen.
Mad online. I do find it funny. So I was on there. But I could definitely, listen, I can go months without looking, okay? And it's also a little bit different when you're the topic, isn't it? Isn't it? I wouldn't tell you to do that if, listen, Crispy Crosby 354. If you were the topic, if you were the hot talk of the town, don't act like you wouldn't look. Okay? Don't act. You started that issue? What did I do? Wait, hold on. What the fuck did I do? I wasn't even online. I was barely even posting. Do you think you're one of these people who thinks I made the content cop? I didn't make the content cop. I was watching Beastars in bed with my Rottweiler, okay? I had nothing to do with that. And if I did, I would have been way meaner. Who did then? My husband! We're not attached at the hip. We're very different people, if you can't tell.
Honestly, it's hard to tell that they're different people. They seem pretty much exactly the same. iDubbbz is like a husk of himself. He's just been completely molded by her. And yeah, they are pretty much the same people. Also, I like how she's like sitting here seething. She's like, why do people think that I made the content cop? I mean, she's taking credit for past content cops, so it's really not that ridiculous of a conclusion to draw to.
Okay? Listen, he wanted to take a very empathetic, balanced approach to it. I'm not interested in that.
Oh my god, dude. No, he didn't. He did not take an empathetic approach. What the fuck is this? We're still doing the empathy shit in 2026? Really?
Approach to it. I'm not interested in that. I'm a bitch. I'm a very mean person.
Oh
the
my
reason
god,
why
dude, this is just terrible. This is just so bad.
All these people online think that I'm like this evil creature, okay, is because I'm a lot more blunt and I don't have time for this shit. I don't believe in karma.
Wow.
I don't believe that being the better person makes you better.
Dude, these people are so fucking millennial. It actually hurts me to watch. Like, they are just so disgustingly millennial.
Okay?
The way that they talk.
My husband does. And a lot of people are very, very lucky that my husband is such a nice person. Whoa!
Wow.
Niche Space Cowboy, thank you for the bit. It's not empathetic to call your friend pedo troll. His name is pedo troll on Reddit. That's his alias. I didn't make him make that alias, okay? But like people like Harley, which by the way, okay, my husband, who's a very caring, Harley is such a fuck because he knew that my husband is a good person and he made bets on whether or not my husband was going to be a piece of shit. And
What the fuck? I honestly don't remember why they even hate Harley. Like, Harley was their biggest fucking dick rider. I remember because when I was shitting on Critter Clash 2, I think. Yeah, it was 2. Harley was always there on every live stream, in every chat. He hated me. He would shit on me and Connor in our videos, talking about how stupid he was for defending Critter Clash 3. Like, he was their biggest guy. So for them to have these, like, feelings of hatred towards him nowadays, it's just so funny for me to watch. Like, what the fuck did he do? He's just friends with Ethan? Is that it?
He knew Ian wasn't going to be a piece of shit. And that's how a lot of people have treated my husband. And to be honest, I'm sick of it. I don't like it. I don't like that my husband receives the short end of the stick because he's a nice person.
Wow.
I think that there's a lot of pieces of shit out there that make aggressive bets that they're going to get away with shitty behavior because they're so terrified of being disliked online, and they look at everything. They scour the internet to make sure that everybody likes them.
I mean, this is just such incredible projection because both Anisa and iDubbbz will go on their streams every day and openly talk about how they read every single thing about them. Like, in a later clip that we're gonna watch, I don't know if I'll play it in this video, but I was doing research for this video, right? I saw a clip of iDubbbz talking about how he goes on r/I miss the old iDubbbz and he reads every post. Anisa's the same thing, right? Anisa will talk about how she's very aware of what people say about her. She knows about the Kino Casino. She knows about even people like Ethan Ralph. You know what I mean? Like, they are very obsessed with the internet, and not just the internet, but how they're perceived on the internet, which is horrible. If you're somebody that's perceived very negatively, that's like the last thing you should be focused on is your fucking personal reputation, right? What the fuck are we talking about here, dude? Honestly, genuinely, you know, I think Ethan Klein is obsessed with what the snark communities think about him, obviously, right? But I don't think Ethan Klein is nearly as tapped into, you know, the broader internet, like just the internet in general, especially places like the commenter community or the sector, like the Kino Casino area. I don't think Ethan Klein really pays much attention to those corners of the internet, but iDubbbz and Anisa, no, they 100% do. So yeah, this is just total projection.
They make aggressive opinions about service members being bombed in Palestine, okay? Harley made disgusting comments about medical staff operating in Palestine getting bombed, suggesting that they did it because they wanted to be martyrs to make Israel look bad. And then when I texted him, because I am a no-nonsense person, I said, hey man, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think this is kind of a bad take. Can we talk about it? He was a little fucking bitch about it.
Okay, can we go into more detail on this? Because I actually am interested to see how this conversation took place, right? But is she going to show the messages? Is she going to go into more detail? No. It's like they're so bad at doing drama content. If she had a segment prepared where she was going to go over her conversation with Harley and make him look like a giant asshole, that could have been content. That could have been something where you'd watch and be like, damn, she's kind of cooking over here, right? But she doesn't show it. She doesn't have the messages prepared. She's just rambling and ranting. And all of these streamers, it's like they don't know how to do a show. And I do take it kind of like personally, it offends me how stupid these people are when they stream. They never have anything prepared. Like, when I go live, I've got the documents that I want to show ready, the videos ready, everything is pre-watched. I've got the bullet points, the talking points down. You know, I've prepared for my streams. These people, they just go live and they just talk endless amounts of shit. They just pull shit out of their ass, and they look like idiots because they're not able to actually show and demonstrate what they're talking about. Like, show the conversation. I'm actually curious, like, what Harley Morenstein looked like when you confronted him about this shit, right? But again, she's not going to show it. Anyway, iDubbbz also did his own stream, and I will have to say, you know, as much as I'm criticizing Anisa and her content, she mogs the fuck out of iDubbbz, and it's no joke. I'm not even saying that to be funny, to, you know, do the whole thing where you gas Anisa up just to shit on iDubbbz by comparison. No. I genuinely do think Anisa is like way better of a streamer than iDubbbz, because apparently now, and I wasn't aware of this again until I did this video, but apparently now iDubbbz does his streams pretending to be a dragon, speaking in a very poor English accent, like literally speaking like he's like a 6-year-old playing with toys, doing like funny little voices. Like, you remember when you were like a little kid, you play with your toys and you do funny voices for them? That's iDubbbz's content now. Get a load of this, right? iDubbbz says there is a mole inside of the H3 podcast, meaning that there is somebody who is turning on Ethan secretly and feeding iDubbbz private information about what is going on from within. And here's what he has to say.
There is a mole. There is a mole inside of the harassment podcast. There is a mole. I will not share.
Yes, this is, I'm sure everyone who's covered iDubbbz has already talked about this new dragon VTuber thing. This is my first time witnessing this, but wow, this is fucking ass. This is just so bad, dude. It's like his new strategy, and a lot of locals do this. Their new strategy when everybody on the internet is covering them constantly and just shitting on every single thing that they do. Locals will adopt this new strategy where they make their content so dog shit and so unwatchable that they cannot be covered anymore. Like, there is literally a 15-minute clip that I have lined up where iDubbbz is just ranting endlessly about Harley Morenstein. I can't fucking play it. I literally cannot show it to you guys because it's unwatchable dog shit. So sorry for the fucking rant, but I just have to get that off my chest, dude. Like, iDubbbz's content, like, you can't A-log it anymore. It's so bad.
There is a mole. There is a mole inside of the harassment podcast. There is a mole. I will not share what mole is moling, but we do have some insider information. I will not share the tea. I will not share the tea, but things are developing. Let's put it that way.
Dude, nothing is fucking developing. If you actually had a mole inside the H3 podcast, it would be very fucking easy for Ethan Klein to figure out who exactly is leaking shit. Doesn't Ethan only work with like a few fucking people anyway? He's got like 5 people that he works with. It would be very easy to figure out who is like leaking shit about him to iDubbbz if that was actually happening. The truth is, it's not happening, because if there was a fucking mole feeding iDubbbz information, why in the ever-living fuck would he be telling us all about it, preventing that mole from being able to give iDubbbz more information? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
That's... I will share it with you at a later date. Maybe someone will eventually leave the podcast, and I will share it with you.
Wow.
Oh, I love that. Guacamole.
Yeah, this is just dog shit fucking content. And again, this could have been a funny bit, right? Because if iDubbbz is just going to sit there and say that he has a mole inside the H3 podcast to play into Ethan Klein's hysterical nature, you know, Ethan Klein's histrionic and paranoid nature, if iDubbbz is just going to say some shit that's just not true, just to freak Ethan Klein out, basically, that could be funny. But the presentation isn't there. This clip just looks retarded, dude. And it just, I imagine Ethan Klein, even paranoid-ass Ethan Klein, watching a clip like this and just not taking it seriously whatsoever because iDubbbz just sounds so clinically retarded. This could have been a funny little way to fuck with Ethan Klein's mind, but again, the presentation is just so dog shit. iDubbbz also goes on to say that Ethan's history of using the N-word is worse than his. We're now comparing who is the bigger N-word sayer. That's what these guys are doing.
Oh my God.
They don't understand it. Ian is the N-word guy.
He's the N-word of our generation.
He is the guy that made his fortune from saying the N-word and saying the F-word. He's sitting.
Yes, and now he's suffering the consequences of that.
Okay, so iDubbbz talks to himself in third person now. That's crazy.
He doesn't get the views that he used to get. He's got a big snark Reddit. I think the usages that iDubbbz has had and the opinion around it.
Wait. Okay, we'll get to that point in a second. iDubbbz is saying that it's okay that he said the N-word because now he's suffering the consequences for it, because now he doesn't get any viewers anymore and he has a giant snark Reddit of people that A-log and bully him every fucking day. What? What the fuck is he talking about, bro? What the fuck, man?
That iDubbbz has had. I snark Reddit. I think the usages that iDubbbz has had and the opinion around it, the N-word, other slurs, I think he's been less flippant in his usage than you, Mr. Klein, and you were shouting it as often as you possibly could. So...
Okay, maybe I'm just not remembering this clearly enough, or I just don't know enough about Ethan Klein's past, but I'm pretty sure the only time that Ethan Klein was flippantly saying the N-word was when he was quoting iDubbbz, was when he was quoting and talking about iDubbbz's favorite fucking word, which was the N-word, right? Like, that was the only moment I can think of in Ethan Klein's past where he was flippantly using the N-word. I mean, realistically, neither Ethan Klein nor iDubbbz really have that much of an edgy past, at least in my opinion. And I might be crazy because I'm, you know, very edgy, I guess. But iDubbbz and Ethan Klein were never like, you know, alt-right figureheads They were never like David Duke supporters, like, or just horrible Nazis or racists or anything like that. They were edgy liberals that like to say bad words in the same way that millennials like swearing a lot because it's rebellious. That's all they fucking were. These people were never edgy fucking people that were really, you know, just pushing the boundaries in the ways that they think that they did. Ethan Klein and iDubbbz carry so much shame and guilt for their past usage of edgy humor. And in reality, they didn't really do anything. From a liberal left-leaning perspective, you might think that they were horrible racists in the past, but from a common sense perspective, or at least from my perspective, they didn't do anything. They just like saying bad or naughty words sometimes, and they used those words in an era on YouTube where you could say stuff like that and still be monetized. That's it. These guys were always liberals. They were always left-leaning. Just because they said slurs every now and again doesn't mean that they weren't the exact same back in the day as they are now. The guilt that they carry is fucking stupid.
I would say you are the N-word guy. It's a competition of who said the N-word the most. And you're winning, my friend.
It's a competition of who is saying the N-word the most. Could you imagine Ethan Klein at iDubbbz speaking to a group of black people and begging the black people to to hate the other guy more because the other guy said the N-word more than him? Like, this is just such a stupid paradigm that they've created. This is so gay and dumb. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? No. Ethan Klein said the N-word more. I'm a much better virtuous white person than Ethan Klein. And Ethan Klein's like, no, you said it. You literally created the N-word. You actually invented the N-word. Oh, these people suck ass, dude. Now, Ethan Klein and Harley Morenstein did respond to the blackface. Let's take a listen right here.
Do remember.
Harley wanted to come. Epic bacon blackface or whatever Ian calls him.
Pause.
Pausing.
The fact that they're trying to reduce you to the dude who did blackface however long ago is so insane because they don't understand it. Ian is the N-word guy.
He's the N-word of our generation.
He is the guy that made his fortune from saying the N-word and saying the F-word. He's sitting, whatever fortune he has.
And it was her idea. She's the N-word girl.
Harley, you did not make money from being racist. You made money from being a silly food guy.
I want tickets. Oh, I thought you were talking about the costume because I said I want tickets to the Habs game. I won the Halloween contest.
So Ethan Klein's saying that iDubbbz made his career, he made his money, all of his millions of dollars that he no longer has. He made that from saying the N-word and being racist. Again, I completely reject this idea. And I know Ethan Klein's just talking shit, right? But if we're being serious for a second, iDubbbz did not make his money from being racist or saying the N-word. He made his money by making funny videos with Filthy Frank and Content Cops, okay? He had a reputation back in the day for being a ruthless critic and funny. Now, you can argue how funny he actually was or if he was just a product of his time. You can criticize the content that he was making even back then and say that it wasn't that funny in the grand scheme of things. That's all besides the point. iDubbbz made his money by being the funny guy and a harsh critic, not necessarily being an edgy or a racist person. I mean, that was like added as flavor to his content for sure. But again, I do really believe that these ancient YouTubers that used to engage in like very surface level edgy humor, they really exaggerate how much an effect they had on the culture, and also they exaggerate just how much they contributed to racism, because from my perspective, they really didn't.
15 years before them doing what they did.
So let me get this. You did a costume and he influenced a generation to say the N-word.
But they also made money from it.
And he influenced so many young kids to say it.
Like they're on an apology tour. If you want to make money, if you actually want to apologize, give away your fortune to the NAACP or whatever. I don't know, but
give away all of your money. Well, I don't think he has any money, dude. Give it all away to the NAACP. That's crazy.
ACP or whatever. I don't know, but
he's doing it slowly every month. They're burning through it.
Because none of us made money from being racist. I made money from being funny and people liking.
Well, come on, Ethan. If you're like, I didn't make money from being racist, I made it from being funny. That's certainly true for iDubbbz.
Harley, you're the N-word guy. So if you want to reduce Harley to being a blackface guy, that means that nobody's beyond redemption, because Harley is not. He hasn't been the blackface guy forever. Has nothing.
One time, it was so long ago. I was ignorant. I also apologize. I came out. I apologize. Not even trying to like leverage it to do a thing.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Never. It's such a self-own. If you want to reduce Harley to that, you are by the same logic, you are David Duke. You know what I mean? You are the grand.
Well, I do agree that iDubbbz definitely engaged in edgy humor, probably way more than Harley Morenstein. So for them to call him the blackface guy, yeah, it's throwing stones in a glass house. That part is true.
And wizard, bro, you're burning crosses. You know what I'm saying?
If you called me Bacon, though, it would be like, okay, it's the Bacon guy. Okay. But then being like, the blackface, it's like, no, not you.
That's
not you.
Not you.
We know.
Don't pull that card, buddy. Don't pull
do
that card. Holy fuck. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Not their card to pull for sure.
So yeah, like I said, there's like way more content. A full 15-minute rant of iDubbbz talking about Harley Morenstein. I did watch the whole rant, and to be honest, I just can't bring myself to even re-air it in this video. I think we've gone way long enough. iDubbbz and Anisa are just completely, insane. I mean, they've just completely lost their mind. It's sad.